So let's have a discussion about the Femcels. So you've done a lot of...
What, terrorists?
No. Wholesome people who didn't do nothing.
Right,
So
okay.
you've had a lot of discussions about sections on articles about women, women's wrongs, so on and so forth, let's say. And this one I thought we'd go through because there are some men's wrongs in here, and also because there's an open hypocrisy that has to be pointed out. Right. So as we can mention, this is going to be focusing around theguardian.com. So they also have their editorial views for a long time that incels basically terrorists, and incel culture is basically terrorism, and therefore should be treated as such. You can start this off here. So I believe this is 3 years ago. Incel Reddit bans misogynist men's group, blaming women for their celibacy. It's just some article from a long time ago. If we keep going, we go to the next one here, which is the raw hatred, why the incel movement targets and terrorizes women. The author of this, I don't know if you recognize her. Her name's Zoe. She is a big meme. If we go to the next one here, we just wanted to mention this meme because this is a left-wing meme about her, of course. But you might see them as out of character for this segment, but I'm going to keep mentioning it because The Guardian actually got these memes shut down, and we should never forget.
I remember, yeah.
The guys who made that website should always be thanked for their service. Anyway, getting back to the subject. So if we go to the next one, we have the Plymouth Shooting. So as you can see, Plymouth Shooting may be a sign of incel culture is spreading from The Guardian, yet again. And if we go to the next one here, we have the last one in this series. The misogynistic incel movement is spreading. Should it be classified as a terror threat?
One feminist says yes.
Well, repeatedly. Many feminists wrote those articles and made this argument. And I will give them the steelman position. They are not without an argument, which is, while we have multiple instances of mass murder taking place, and the perpetrators were incels, and before they went on their mass murder spree, they mentioned it was because I can't get a girlfriend, therefore I'm an incel. That's not terrorism. That's not enough.
No.
You have to have the political aspect.
So whose job is it to marry young men?
I don't know. Presumably no one's, according to this. But anyway, this is, we all know, as the left-wing position on this, but I thought we'd talk about the Femcels. So we go to the last one here. This is an article from theguardian.com talking about Femcels and why Femcels deserve all the respect and love, but the incels deserve
they don't
contempt.
deserve anything. Right,
No,
okay,
they
yeah.
So let's go through this. I feel hurt that my life has ended up here, the women who are involuntarily celibates. What is it like to go without a partner when you long for one, and even a fleeting sexual connection feels impossible?
Again, like, I hate to be like, hypocrisy, but come on.
It's so evident.
You talk about the young men who can't find love as being literally evil, but when it comes to the women, it's like, oh, God, pour your heart out to me.
Again, Steelman, they don't have this without merit, which is that you can point to men who have committed mass murder.
I'm not saying you can't.
You can't with the women.
That's fair.
And it'll become apparent why as we get into this.
But it's going to be the same bloody problems, isn't it?
There's an interesting aspect. I won't
Okay,
ruin
go
it.
on then.
I won't ruin
Okay.
it. So they say in here, when a woman named Elena coined the term incel in the late 90s, she couldn't have predicted the outcome. What started as a harmless website to connect lonely, involuntary celibate men and women has morphed into an underground online movement associated with male violence and extreme misogyny. Again, this is the narrative as we played out. In 2014, Elliot Rodger stabbed and shot 6 people in California, blaming the girls who had spurred him and condemned him to, quote, an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires. There have since been numerous attacks by people who identify with incel culture, including Jack Davidson, who killed 5 people in Plymouth this summer before turning the gun on himself.
Hang on, did he actually identify with incel culture? I thought he had a problem with his mother.
I'm not too sure. I
don't think that's been confirmed.
The government aren't treating it that way, but whatever. In the darkest corners of the internet, incel groups have become a breeding ground for toxic male entitlement, putting them on the hate crime watch lists across the UK. So that aspect of the terrorism has already become the case. But it is not just incel men who struggle to find sexual connections in the modern world. Some young women are turning to online Femcel spaces to discuss the challenges they face as involuntary celibates. Just discussing the challenges. This is not the same thing at all. Theirs is a non-violent resistance.
Hang on. Resistance to what?
Not getting laid?
How is this a resistance?
These are the resistances.
No, these are people who are asking for something, not resisting something.
Whatever. Rather than blaming the opposite sex for their unhappiness.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they don't.
Okay.
I'm sure they never. Oh my God. That's all the feminist movement is a bunch of angry femcels saying men are the problem.
Yeah.
But no, they're not blaming men.
As some of their male counterparts do, femcels tend to believe their own ugliness is the root cause of their loneliness.
But that's what the incels say.
It's exactly the fucking same, but okay, whatever. Posting anonymously on platforms that they have designed for themselves, they argue that they are invisible due to their abnormal appearances.
Literally the incel argument.
Word for word. And that our beauty-centric, misogynistic culture prevents them from being accepted.
Well, apart from the word misandristic being replaced with misogynistic, that's exactly the incel argument.
Also the idea that the world is beauty-centric.
Yes, it is, and always has been.
And that is misogynistic, is it? They will continue to make that argument throughout as well. Right. That us caring about beauty is misogynistic. Right, okay. Is that just because you, the particular women, are femcels? Yes, it is, isn't it? Anyway, there is an anger and an open grappling with self-esteem, but no extreme hatred and no sense of entitlement within the community.
Oh, I bet there is.
I just don't believe it.
I bet there is.
The holy femcel community, who has no sense of entitlement, non-violent, just concerned about the fact they can't get a partner, whereas the incel community, terrorists, all of them. I'm like, right, okay. So, meanwhile, a far greater number of women would not describe themselves as femcels, but live unintentionally celibate lives. Why?
Same thing as the incels.
Why a far greater number of women don't do this. Not expanded upon, but okay. They share many of the femcels' concerns. So they changed all the names for these, YouTube, before you say I'm harassing someone for this. But Caitlin, fake name, 39, doesn't call herself a femcel, but she hasn't had sex for almost 8 years and doesn't think she'll find another sexual partner. Quote, I'm not conventionally attractive, and I never get approached by men, she says.
Why couldn't I just write this about an incel, about being accepted for dates with women?
But also, conventionally attractive? I don't know. Can't see them. So, quote, they don't look at me. I've had therapy to try to address these issues, but dating feels like a barren wasteland. It's worse as I get older, because I've missed that short window to marry and have a family. You can't help but feel bad for her.
No.
But again...
Take heed, ladies. It's a short window.
And so much of this is going to intersect with your dadism prophecies, because, well, they come true.
Because I'm right.
Yeah. She never tells people that she is celibate because it makes her feel abnormal and inadequate. Quote, I feel a lot of anger and hurt that my life has ended up this way. I struggle to cope with the fact I may never find another partner. Society makes it harder because after a certain age, people tend to pair off and form their insular units, and life gets lonely for a single person. Can you really blame society? Is that biology?
Yeah, but when she says society, she just means, the rest of people at large.
Maybe I'm being too critical.
But yeah, I mean, there's no changing that, though.
No. Although Caitlin is not morally opposed to casual sex, it is not an experience that feels right for her. She has had 2 short-term relationships which ended in heartbreak. There is a popular notion among incels community and even wider society that women are privileged because they can get sex at any time. This is... Not only is that untrue, as many women will testify, but also, Caitlin points out, not all sex is enjoyable. Quote, generally, men who aren't in a relationship with you don't make it a pleasurable experience, she says. Quote, the risk of rejection afterwards is high, which makes the sex even less enjoyable. As a woman, you want to be desired, not treated like a piece of meat. And yeah, there's a fair argument there.
Oh, that's fair,
I think we've not been... persistent enough to make sure that that's known. With your statement that women control access to sex, men control access to relationships.
Sure, but I mean,
it's a true statement.
It's a generally true statement. You are going to find exceptions to every rule.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it. There's the counter. So Caitlin is aware that men also struggle with self-esteem issues linked to appearance. So finally, we accept that there are some links between these two groups who literally have the same bloody name. They're all incels, but believes that the pressure is greater for women. Appearance-based discrimination, termed lookism, by femcel communities is not the only reason that some women struggle to find a sexual partner. Just for a second. Appearance-based discrimination, lookism.
Well, that's their term for it. But I find this interesting. She says, I'm not especially drawn to someone's looks or height. I prefer to get to know and develop an attraction, but I feel that a man who didn't find me attractive straight away would never learn to become attracted to me. Yeah, but the same thing happens for men. Imagine being like a man who's like 5'3".
You also have no control over that.
Exactly. You've got no control over it. You're never going to get any better in that regard. And a lot of women are going to be like, no.
Like, I can't put concealer on my foot until I'm like 6 foot. That's not going to happen.
And so the idea that, the pressure is greater for women, it's there for everyone.
Yeah. The idea that men focus more on appearance, that's obviously true.
Sure, but it's not just appearance though, right? It's also other physical factors that are like but it's not, what I'm saying is not like the beauty of the face that is necessarily the problem. The problem is other factors that women are attracted to, because on in general, I would say the women are less interested or concerned with raw physical beauty than men are, but there are other things like height and things like that. And so
Yeah, I could see. I can't remember all of it, John, but John was writing out there that there's basically there's stuff that men just can't do in response, whereas for women there is things they can do.
Yeah, but I bet there are things that these women can do, like lose weight.
Yeah, but also the makeup side and all this stuff, the kind of things that men conventionally find attractive, can't really do that for height.
No.
Not going to be done.
No.
Anyway, they continue. The risk of male violence has also been a concern, but semi-autonomous nature of app-based dating has increased these fears for many women. Again, Tinder, bad, which, yes.
Don't use dating apps.
Jane, 49, has been single for 8 years and celibate for 5. Although she would love to have a sex life, she is not prepared to compromise her principles by seeking a casual relationship with someone she has just met online. I don't want to invite someone I don't know into my home, as you never know the risks. She was once followed home by a man after their date. Quote, I saw his car behind me and he said he was curious about where I lived. It made me extremely uncomfortable.
Well, that is very creepy.
Yes, very true.
Don't follow women home.
But again, she's mentioning that the dating apps are destroying women's prospects here. Yeah, they're destroying everyone's prospects.
At 49 years old, you don't have that many prospects at that point.
You're starting to notice the age difference between the incels and the femcels. In addition to safety concerns, Jane says apps make it harder to find the type of people she is looking to make a connection with. While this is also true for men, she believes they tend to be more comfortable with the fast food, casual sex nature of online dating. Dishonesty is a common theme, she says. It is impossible to build trust with a man who lies online.
Well, it's impossible to build trust with a man who lies. And then you can swap man for person, and there you have a complete coherent statement.
Yes. Again, the focus of this is so hard for women to trust the person. Yeah, it is. It's also hard to find a partner, but they're not for partners, is it?
No.
Tinder.com is not for that kind of thing. It is for sex. There is also Mary's experience.
Hang on. I love this. Right? Pictures will be 10 years old or not an accurate representation of that person. Oh yeah. It's only men that have done that. Like women have got the most accurate, up-to-date picture of themselves without any makeup at all. Get out.
I'd like to introduce you to Photoshop in the Adobe suite.
I take my photos like I'm looking up at someone on top of a cliff.
Yes.
Get bent.
Because when it's below, you can see the double chin.
Exactly,
we all know. So this is also Mary's experience. She is 53 and has been celibate for 5 years. I think we're finding the difference, not only biologically between the incels and the femcels about violence.
Because Elliot Rodger was 19 or something?
Yeah.
So young man.
Plymouth guy was 20-something?
Yeah, 23 or something. Couldn't get dates.
Guy in Toronto was 20-something?
Yeah. Very young men and old women are incels and femcels.
There seems to be a very stark difference in here.
But there is a pattern emerging.
Yeah. According to Silver Neves, a sex and relationship psychotherapist with the UK Council of Psychotherapy, it is not uncommon for women to struggle to find a partner when they find physically attractive, especially as they get older. Yes. It's almost if there should be a warning for such things. Quote, society places a higher importance on women's beauty. I don't think that's the reason why it gets harder when you get older, though.
Sure.
I thought biology would be.
But I mean, that is part of it.
Sure.
It will, at some point in a woman's life, there will come a time where she realizes men just don't look at her anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, we've spoken about it endlessly, which is the difference in taste for men and women of age.
Yeah.
And the men of whatever age always looking for 20-year-olds. Yeah. Women of whatever age looking for the same age as them.
Yeah.
So, quote, we absorb and internalize this misogyny on every level, and even women are more likely to criticize another woman's body than a man's. The idea of caring about looks is misogynistic. It harms women.
Deal with it.
But also, the women are most likely to do it.
Yep.
The women are most likely to be misogynist.
Yep.
Misogyny.
I agree.
Women most effective and most involved.
The perpetrators as well.
And the victims.
Yeah.
Okay. You often see women putting more effort into their appearance as they age because they have been taught it's important in a way that men haven't. But a lot of women complain that they struggle to be attracted to men because they have let themselves go. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is probably true.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
This is probably men's wrongs here, which is just part of it.
Yep.
But then the incentive structure is different, isn't it? of course, as well. So while many men still prioritize beauty, Neve says women others' successes, such as education, wealth, and a good career, may be deemed threatening.
Yep. Men are not attracted to women because of their education, wealth, or career.
Men make up only 40% of university students in the United States. They mention in here.
Yep. So that's good news for women in about 20 or 30 years' time. Probably not even that, actually. Probably about 15 to 20 years' time. There are going to be lots of women going, well, hang on a second. I've got an amazing career. I've got an amazing degree. Why am I single?
Well, it's already happening. Yeah. Oh, the way 20 years.
Well, it is, yeah. But like, it's going to be even more, because like those people are from when it was like 40% women, 60% men. And now it's been flipped over. It's going to be even worse.
Yeah. Elaine, 37, who has been celibate for 5 years, feels
since her mid-30s, she's become celibate. It's almost like there's something that happens in your mid-30s, ladies. You should probably pay attention to that.
This pattern keeps playing out. I can't see what's going on. It's because you're blind. Feels her successful career has played a role in her dating prospects. Quote, men don't like the fact that I don't cook or clean, even though I pay someone to do both jobs.
Yep.
Yeah. So the wife desire is there.
Yeah, don't care if you pay someone to do it.
Again,
I'm not looking for a husband.
I thought you'd enjoy the fact that many of your prophecies just keep turning up
in
a left-wing outlet.
I'm right.
Yeah. Then they have one person who's at least...
Well, listen, look at this. The stereotype of the male hunter-gatherer remains quite prevalent, and at times I think they feel they don't have a role. Yeah. That's right. You've taken on the role of the husband, and you're like, why can't I find a husband? It's like, because men are looking for a wife.
She's saying this of the educated men as well.
Yep.
I found interesting.
Absolutely. And the stereotype of male hunter-gatherer, okay, well, let's call it that, right? Let's say that it's something that's so deeply embedded in the human psyche that you bucking that trend has left you to be an incel, or femcel, sorry.
At 37.
At only 37 as well. 37 isn't actually beyond the pale, but sorry, you've done this to yourself and you're stuck with it.
Yeah. I think there is a lot that reminds me of the incel movement, which is there's a problem, probably not necessarily just to do with attraction. There are, of course, biological factors and all the rest of it.
Behavior is important.
Behavior, personality is...
Adopting a role and a station in life, and you've adopted the station of the husband. No one wants a husband.
Anyway, so then we get to another person who is below 30. The only one in this article who is below 30. Yvonne, 28, recognizes the same traditional values in men her age, despite numerous attempts at dating on and offline. She has never had a relationship and doesn't engage in casual sex.
Okay.
I like how they word that. I was like, do you know even the youngsters, the millennials, want women?
Or wives?
Yeah, the role of wife.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's almost as if it's not culture.
And maybe you shouldn't have tried to buck this trend. Maybe you should have been like, right, okay, that's something about men that exists. I need to be aware of that.
I mean, it's another example, as Jordan Peterson points to Scandinavia, for as societies become more egalitarian, the sex differences get larger. Yeah. Even as the age difference here, the sex differences still there and presumably getting larger as well. I don't necessarily need to be with a man who has a degree, but I want to meet someone who is intellectually curious and has the same values. Well, that's true. She then goes on to complain about race.
Well, now hang on, look. I think men can be intimidated by education and career success. Well, you decided to become the breadwinner. Unless you're looking for a wife, you're out of luck.
She says about race, as a black woman, this can be especially hard, as even black men seem to prioritize light-skinned women. I think OkCupid did some research on this.
Oh, yeah.
And found that to be true.
Yeah.
And
Chinese men and black women are the least desirable partners.
According to OkCupid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't personally agree, but... Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, do you have on your profile picture you in an apron with a freshly baked pie and a nice, charming smile?
I mean, look...
Because I would be like, I might message her if I was single.
Yeah, I mean, if I was hired as a coach for a woman to get a husband, I mean, that's what you'd do.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway.
Don't sit there advertising that you're some sort of super brainiac who's got 1 million degrees in gender studies. Advertise that you like cooking at the weekends or something.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think that should be a much better dating strategy. But what do I know? I'm married.
Yeah. So femcels and women who struggle to find relationships are sometimes accused of misandry, especially by male incels. Yvonne counters that any resentment women feel is more likely to be turned inwards.
Okay.
Cope. Quote,
doesn't mean they don't hate men.
The biggest difference between men and women seems to be that men feel entitled to sex and relationships, so it's the fault of women when they can get where they can't get it. Like, yeah, and you admitted that there is misandry on the same basis against men.
Well, I like this one. Women seem to internalize the issues and be more likely to blame themselves. So we all agree that women are to blame here. Like everyone is in agreement. The men are like it's women's fault. The women are like it's women's fault.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at it. Neves argues that while misogyny and
Go on. Can't you use that giant degree-holding big brain to work out what the problem is here?
Nerves argues that while misogyny and misandry are both unacceptable, they have very different roots.
Misandry is unacceptable now, right? Okay.
I think there'll probably be some people who disagree, mostly in the feminist field.
Yeah.
But also the fact that she's they got very different roots. Therefore, there's, one should be treated more seriously than the other.
Yeah.
Quote, misogyny is an ideology which dictates that women should be seen as objects without the same rights as men. Misandry is mostly a reaction to misogyny and informed by evidence.
Oh, I'm going to use that. Well, my misogyny is informed by evidence, actually.
It's not the same as misandry, which is just blaming.
Which is actually a response to misogyny. But what I love about this, I love misogyny as an ideology. It's like, yeah.
Misandry's not.
Misandry's not. But also, did you know that 1 in 4 homeless people are women? You know,
1 in 4 homeless.
Exactly, 1 in 4 homeless. So what are the other 3 and 4? Don't know. We can't see them because that's what misandry is. It's not, it's not reaction to misogyny. What it is not even seeing men as human. That's what it is.
I love it. It's informed by evidence. Not misogyny, though. That's totally not. Okay, we shouldn't put all men in the same bag, but at the same time, it's hard to criticize women who have had negative experiences.
Why can't the incels say that?
Why can't a misogynist make that argument? We shouldn't put women in all the same bag, but at the same time, it's hard to criticize men who have had negative experiences. God. It's word for word. Same thing.
I know.
I can't.
But it's okay. My misogyny is evidence informed.
Big thanks to Based 8 for sending this article in. Anyway, so Caitlin says, of course, not all male incels are involved in extremist online forums, but those
But then not all femcels are either.
But those that do are feeding off their hatred of women, viewing us as possessions or something to conquer.
But what do you think of men?
But also, I'm not even sure that that's an incorrect way of viewing the world. Like, when you get a wife, she's your partner and your wife.
Yep.
My woman, my man. Mm-hmm. And in reverse, of course, the same.
Yep, there are ownership claims on people that you have relationships with.
That's my man.
My friend.
And he's also my partner.
My neighbour. There's some form of ownership claim in there.
Yeah, but there's also the partnership claim as well.
Yep.
And the inability to recognise that.
But these women, when they're like, oh, I'm looking for a husband, what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
You want ownership over that person. You want that person to have that feeling about you.
Gonna possess him.
Yeah, exactly.
Conquer him.
Yeah.
Words you're not...
I feel entitled to one.
Quote, involuntary celibate women seem to be handling their anger and hurt in a more evolved way.
Oh, are they really?
Throwing themselves into work, life, and healthy communities where single life is celebrated.
Well, what is the need for this article then? If everything's going just brilliant for the femcels, who are just more involved, don't you know? They're throwing themselves to work, life, and healthy communities where they're being celebrated. Why did you have to write this giant cope? Honestly, what a lie.
But the idea that the healthy communities where single life is celebrated, are those healthy?
Where are they?
Are they not just feminist institutions that are celebrating, yes, we hate men, therefore, yes, queen? And
like TheGuardian.com.
Which is why at the same time you're also like, damn, I wish I had a husband. I hate being with you.
But I love this whole thing that, oh God, it sucks for women, but everything's going great for them. So, don't worry about us. So, okay, I won't.
Yeah, but I found that interesting because there's a lot of nuance in there. There is, of course, the men's wrongs, the women's wrongs, and also the points of just like the rank hypocrisy of incels, basically terrorists, but femcels are all 30 plus. Coincidentally, are not involved in violence, and it's like, there's biological reasons for that, but let's not talk about that, shall we? Yeah. But anyway, thanks to Base 8 for sending that in. I don't know if you were here. He sent in their comments talking about it.
No, that's fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full thing 1 p.m. every weekday at lotuseaters.com, or you can sign up to get access to all the premium content we have on the site.
Yeah, we've got loads of really good stuff. Every week we have a Contemplations and Epochs episode that goes up, and in the Contemplations we talk about just interesting things, and the Epochs episodes are probably my favourite because I love talking about history. This latest one is we're doing a bit of a series on the 100 Years' War and why England kept winning. And we've not finished it yet, and you're going to really enjoy the end of that one. But we've also got other excellent episodes that we do, like the book club. The most recent one was Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell. This was about his time in Burma as a colonial officer. and when he was tasked with the shooting of a rampaging elephant. And it's really, really interesting what the circumstance of the thing was. But we also have lots of other content, such as premium articles, which have audio tracks on them for our silver and gold subscribers. And we do premium podcasts about things that we don't really feel that we can put on YouTube or have done a particularly large amount of research into. And so it's worth keeping them slightly more private. And we also do lots of very interesting interviews, such as this one with comedian Steve Hughes, which was really fascinating because I didn't expect him to be a philosopher. But anyway.
Yeah. Also, the last thing to mention is the live event content we have. So we occasionally, when we get around to it, doing our live events, and the videos from them are on the website as premium, of course, because people came to see and paid. So go and check that out. This is on the worst of critical race theory.
Yes.
And I do mean the worst.
It's unconscionable.
Yeah. So if you'd like access to all that premium content, go to lotuseaters.com and subscribe. Thank you and goodbye. All the prophecies coming home.
It's all true. That's why. Oh, it's a lizard brain caveman thing. Yes, it is. Structure your life accordingly.